Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 2-2 of May-June 2013. So let's move on to question number 1. So answer all the questions in this section. Now part 1, we have the exchange rate for £1 to dollars and £1 to rupees. Great. Now Manraj changes 25,200 rupees into dollars. So we don't have rupees to dollars, we only have pounds to the other currencies. Calculate how many dollars he receives. So pretty easy. You can just replace this with this. You will have $6.06 equal to 72 rupees. That will be the exchange rate from rupees to dollars. So he changes this much. So that will be 25,200 is equal to, in $2, that will be 2.06 divided by 72 times 25,200. So let's find out the answer. So 2.06 divided by 72 times 25,200, that will be 721. That will be your answer for part 1-1. So $721. Now for part 2, Misja changes 380 euros into dollars. He received $551. How many dollars does he receive for 1 euro, for each euro? So we have 380 euros equal to $551. So 1 euro. So how do you convert this part to 1? You have to divide by 380 on both sides. That will become dollars. 551 divided by 380, that will be 145. So 1 euro is $145. That is part 2. Now let's move on to part B. So here we have accounts. We have two kinds of accounts. One is a super saver account and one is an extra saver account. So both have simple interest of, and then first one is 3.4 and 3.5. Now question. On 31st of March 2011, Lydia and Simone each had 8,000 in an account. So this one will be P as your investment in the account. Now Lydia money is in the super saver account. So Lydia will be here. Simone money will be in the extra saver account. So Simone will be right here. Now part 1, how much money did Lydia have in her account on the 31st of March 2012? So after, when t is equal to 1, after 1 year, after the interest has been added. So here, as you know, we have simple interest. The formula for that will be amount is equal to P, which is the investment, plus interest. Now you know that I is equal to, so this is P plus I is P R times T. P is the investment, R is the rate, and T is the time. So let's replace. P will be 8,000, which is the investment, plus 8,000 again, times rate, which is 3.4%, 3.4 divided by 100, and then times time will be 1. So that will be, so let's solve, 8,000 plus 8,000 times 3.4 divided by 100. That will be 8272. So she will have $8272. Now moving on to part 2, we have on this date, Lydia transferred her money to the extra saver account. How much money did she have in this account on the 31st, 2013? So after 1 year, from this to this, that will be T will be 1. After the interest has been added. So same thing, same equation again. A will be P plus PRT. Now P has changed because he have moved this much into this new account. So P will be 8272 plus 8272 times rate, which is 3.5%, and times years, which is 1. So answer is this, plus answer times 3.5 over 100. That will be 8561.252. Sorry. So this will be the amount that she will have on this date, 8561.52. Now next question. Simone kept her money for the 2 years in the extra saver account. which earned a simple interest of 3.5% per year. So after all the interest has been added, who has more money in the account? Okay, let's see. So on this date, for Simone, it would have been, T will be 2 years. So let's find the amount for Simone. It will be the same formula because it is simple interest. PRT, 8,000 plus 8,000 times rate, which is 3.5%, and times 2 for Simone. So let's do that. 8,000 plus 8,000 times 3.5 over 100 times 2. That will be 8560. 8560 will be the amount that Simone would have by the end of the year. Now the question is, who will have more money? So as you can see, Lydia will have more money than Simone. So you will say Lydia has how much more? So this minus this will be $1.52 more than Simone. Okay, so that will be question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have small triangles are formed by placing rods in between dots as shown in the diagram. So we have 4 diagrams here, as you can see. Now part 1, complete the table. So let's see. So we have diagram 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. So this one is pretty easy, this line, because this is just 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square will be 25. And for this one will be, as you can observe, it is plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, so plus 6, that will be 21. And for this one, let's observe, it is plus, here we have plus 6, plus 9, plus 12, so plus 15. Every time the amount is increasing by 3, if that makes sense. That'll be 45. So part 1, done. Now part B, find an expression in terms of n for the number of triangles T found in diagram n. So n, T, that will be n square. That will be pretty easy. For the first one, this one is pretty easy. I hope that makes sense. Now for part C, given that R is equal to D plus T minus 1, find the value of n when D equal to this and R equal to this. So let's just replace those values back in the equation. Let's see what we have. So R is given by 1584 is equal to 561 plus T. T is given by this formula here, n square minus 1. So let's make this the subject of formula. So n square will become, so 561 minus 1 is 560. So 1584 minus 560. That will be 1024. So n will be root of 1024. That will be 32. So value of n will be 32 for part C. Okay, so now let's move on to part D. So it says that part D, we have a sequence which looks like this: 1, 3, 6, 10, 15. The nth term for this above sequence is given by this, half n plus, and then n plus 1, right? Now using this, hence, it means we have to use this to find an expression for R in terms of n. So let's observe. How would you find that? So if you observe our term here, for R we have 3, 9, 18, 30, and 45. So what is how can we use this to find the nth term for this? So let's write this down side by side. So for the R term, so for the table, we have the first term is 3, the second term is 9, then we have 18, then we have 30, and 45. So as you can see, how do we change this to this? You have to multiply by 3. So basically, the nth term will be 3 times this one. Half, that will be 3 over 2 and plus 1. So this will be the R term in terms of n. 3 over 2 and n plus 1. Okay, so now part E. How many rods are there in diagram 15? So diagram 15 will be n is equal to 15. So we have R, he is equal to this one, 3 over 2. Then n will be 15, n plus 1. Let's see. 3 over 2 times 15 plus 1. That should be 360. Now part F, we have find an expression for D in terms of n. So we have the formula given to us in part C that R is equal to D plus T minus 1. So we have R already. R is given by this, which is 3n n plus 1. D will be plus n squared minus 1. So D will be n squared. Sorry, so we have to send this one over here. It will become 3 over 2 n plus 1 minus n squared plus 1. So that will be your expression in terms of D, which is, so you can factorize if you want to, but you don't need to do that. This will be your answer, 3 over 2 n plus 1 minus n squared plus 1. That will be the term in terms of n. So if you want to as well, you can do something else. If you observe this term here, so let's write this down. Let's write this down here. So we have a term which is starting with 1, 3, 6, 10, and 45. It says the nth term for this sequence is given by half n plus 1. But now you observe this term right here. It looks almost the same as the D here. You can see D is 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. So the term in D is 3, 6, 10, sorry, this is 15, and then going on. So the term in D is only missing the first letter, is missing the first term, which is we don't have in D. So in that case, you can also write this. The term for D will be half. If it is missing, you have to add this to each of them. It will become n plus 2. So it could be this one as well. So this could be your answer, or this can be your answer for part F. Okay, that is question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. Solve this equation, so we have to find the value of x. So let's expand first. You will have 3x minus 15 equal to 5x minus 7. So we send x on this side. You will have 2x equal to minus 15 plus 7 will be minus 8. So x will be minus 4. So we can double check. So minus 15 plus 7 and divide by 2, minus 4. X will be minus 4. Now for part B, solve this equation. So find the values of y. So first thing, we cross multiply. You will have 4y minus 3 less than equal to 14. Then we send 3 on one side. You will have 14 plus 3 will be 17. So y will be 17 divided by 4. So what is the value of 17 divided by 4? That will be 4.25. So you can write this as well if you want to. Now question part 2. State the integers that will satisfy this and this. So y is more than 2. 2 will be here. And 4.25. This here we have an equal sign. And here we don't have an equal sign. So between integers will be 3 and 4. So your answer is 3, 4 inside this range. Now part C, solve the simultaneous equation. So find the values of x and y. So what we can do is solve by substitution, because here we have y already. So y as subject of formula will become 2x minus 6. So 4x plus 3y will be 2x minus 6 equal to minus 3. 4x plus 6y minus 18 equal to minus 3. So here we have 10x minus 18 equal to minus 3. So 10x equal to minus 3 plus 18, which is 15. Now x will be 1.5. Find the value for y. Y will be 2 times 1.5 minus 6, which is 3 minus 6, which is minus 3. So the answer will be 1.5 and minus 3. That is question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F is a hexagon, so it has 6 sides, with B as its only line of symmetry. So this line is the line of symmetry, which means this shape here and this shape here are the same, right? But if you can observe as well, you can see that this shape here on one side is a trapezium. So this is also the trapezium of the same size. So that's something good to know for this question. Now AF is parallel to CD, so AF and CD are in the same direction. Now this is just information that we need to know, and this one is very important. It says the area of the hexagon is 138 centimeters square. So question number 1, calculate AF. So where is AF? AF is this side. Right. So how would you find the value for AF? So as you can see, the value for AF is the same as CD. So we can use this information to find the value for CD or AF, same thing. So AF is equal to CD, as you can see here. So let's do that and use this information to find the value for that. So if the area of the hexagon is 138, what is the area of the trapezium? So area of trapezium, this is BCD. BCD will be equal to this divided by 2 because it is the same shape on two sides, so half will be area of trapezium. So 138 divided by 2 will be 69. So now how do you find area of trapezium? You always do half times sum of parallel sides. So one side will be CD plus B equal to 16 times the length in between will be this one, which is 6, equal to 69. So we have to find the value of CD. So let's continue here. So CD plus 16 is equal to 69 times 2 divided by 6, which is 23. So CD will be 23 minus 16. That will be 7. So CD is equal to AF, which is 7 centimeters. Now let's move on to part B. The area of the hexagon is 4 times the area of the triangle DEF. So where is the triangle DEF? For DEF is this triangle. So now how do you find area of triangle? So let's rotate this in this shape. In this way, so we can see the triangle properly. So DEF is a triangle, so it has a height and a base. Area of triangle will be half times base. Base is this one, 6 plus 6 will be 12, and times height. That will be 6h. Area of triangle is given by 6h, where h is the height of the triangle. So we have to find the value of EG. So here EG is just the height. So EG is the height, right? So area of hexagon is given to us as 138 is equal to 4 times area of triangle, which is 6h, as we have shown right here. Now let's solve for the value of h. H will be 138 divided by 24. That will be 5.75. So the value for EG will be 5.75. Okay, now part 2. Find EG, the ratio of EG to GB, giving your answers in the form of M and N, where these two are integers. Okay, So what can we do is we have to find the length of GB. So we know EG is given by, so EG and GB. EG, we just found out it was 5.75. Now what is the length of GB? Pretty easy. This is 16. 16 is my answer. That will be 10.25. So GB will be 10.25, EG will be 5.75. So now it has to be an integer. So let's write this down. .75 and 10.25. So one thing you can do is you can write this on your calculator over 10.25. It will give you the lowest form of this fraction, which is 2341. So your answer will be 2341. So now it did not tell you that to find the lowest integer. So what's going to happen is you can write down, it will be 23, a value of k, or 41k, where k is an integer. But you don't need that, you can just write this as well. But in most cases I would say, because this one, it's intuitive because it didn't ask you for the lowest term of these two. So you can write a constant here, which is the same. And this will be an integer for these two ratios. So let's write this down, 23k and 41k. So the reason we write k here, because it did not ask you, it did not tell you that m and n are the smallest possible integers. So it did not tell you this, so you cannot just write this normally. You have to add a constant on the back, because it can be the ratio, let's say k can become 1, 2, 3, going on, whole numbers, it will be in that ratio. That's why we will have to write k, because we don't have this information. Okay. Let's see now, we can move on to the next question. 5. So Mr. Chen wants a fence along the side of his garden, which is 8 meters long. So 8 meters long is 800 centimeters long. Right. He buys 4 fences and 5 posts. Each fence is 180 wide. Correct the nearest centimeter, which is 1 centimeter. Each post is 15 centimeter wide. Correct the nearest centimeter. Okay. So part 1, if there are no gaps between the panels and the posts, is it possible for the fence to be longer than 8 meters? So let's see if it is possible or not. So first thing we do, let's write down the upper bound and lower bound of these two values. So 180 plus minus 1 over 2. That will be 180.5 and 179.5. This one is 15 plus minus half. That will be 15.5 and 14.5. That's the upper bound, lower bound, upper bound, lower bound. Now we have to find, is the maximum length bigger than this? Because we want to know if it is possible for it to be longer than this. Let's do that. Let's take the maximum length of the fence that he has bought. So the maximum length will be, he has 4 fences, so 4 times 180.5 plus 5 posts times 15.5. 4 times 180.5 plus 5 times 15.5, that will be 799.5. That will be the length. So in that case, the max length is not more than 8 meters. You will write no, because the maximum possible length is still lower than 800. That's why it will not be possible. Now for part B, a shop buys the post from a manufacturer and sells them at a profit of 30%. The shop sells each post for $35.10. Part 1, how much does each post cost from the manufacturer? So the selling price is $35 and $10. And this one is having a profit of 30%, which means the price right now is 130%. So we have to find what is the original price at 100%. That will be 3510 divided by 130 times 100. Let's see the possible answer. 3510, 130 times 100. That will be 27. So the price that he bought from the manufacturer was $27. That is page 8. So let's move on to part 2. Let's see what we have in this section. So the fence panel costs this much each, and post will be this much each. Now Mr. Chang buys 4 fence and 5 posts. He hires a builder to build up the fence. Okay. The builder charges 220% of the costs of the fence and the post to do the work. What is the total amount that Mr. Chang pays for his fence? So you know that total amount will be the cost of materials plus the cost of builder. So let's find one by one. So what is the cost of material? It will be, so let's call it CM. That will be 4 fence, so 4 times 50.7, and then 5 posts, 5 times 35.10. 5 times 35.10. That will be 378.3 for the cost of the material. Now, what is the cost of the builder? He says that the builder charges 220% of the cost of the material. So 220% of CM is equal to 220% is over 100 times 378.3. So 220 divided by 100 times 378.3. That will be 83226. Now the total cost will be this plus this. That will be plus 378.3. That will be 1,210 and 56 cents. So that will be your answer for part 2. Okay, this is the question number 5. So let's move on to question number 6. So the diagram shows possible positions P, Q, R, S for 4 hotels. So we have P, Q, R, S. Now question part 1, let's see the information first. The bearing of Q from P is 65, and the bearing of R from Q is 210. PQ equal to 500, SQ is 335, and PQS is 90. Question part 1, calculate the value of PQR. So where is PQR? PQR. So we have to find this angle. So how can we find this angle? So what thing can we use to find this angle? Let's play with the diagram to see what is possible. So let's draw this line, continue this line, and continue this line to see what angle are the same. This is 65, so this big angle will be 65. So what is this angle here? It will be 180 minus 65. That is 115 for this big angle. Let's write this down here. 115 for this big angle. So this big angle is equal to this angle right here. If this is 90, this will be the remaining value, which is 115 minus 90, which is 25. So now we can find this value. So this is 210. Let's call this one alpha. So we know that 210 plus alpha plus 90 plus 25 should give you a full circle, which is 360. So find the value of alpha. That will be 360 minus 210 minus 90 minus 25. That will be 35 degrees. So the value for alpha, which is this angle here, PQR, will be 35 degrees. Now part B, calculate the shortest distance from P to QR. So whenever you see shortest distance, it is the perpendicular distance. So P to QR, You have to go to point P and find the perpendicular distance to the line QR. That will be this one. This is 90 degrees. So we have to find this distance. Let's call this the point X. So we have to find PX. So we know this is 35. So if you observe now, we have a triangle PXQ is a right angle triangle, so we can use SOHCAHTOA. So let's see what side do we have. We have this side, which is the hypotenuse, and we are trying to find this side, which is the opposite side. So we have to use sine. Sine of 35. So sine of 35 is equal to the height px, which is our opposite side, over the hypotenuse. So px will be 500 sine of 35. That will be 286.788. So I think we can write this to one decimal place. That will be meters. That will be your value for the shortest distance. Okay, let's move on to part C. So part C, it asks you to calculate the bearing of S from P. S from P. So where is that? Of S from P. So we have to find this angle. So we know this big one is given by 65. So we have to find this interior angle first. So we can find this one. Let's call this one angle theta. So if you observe, you have a triangle here, SQP, which is a right angle triangle. And we know this side and we know this side. So we can find the angle of alpha. So, sorry, theta. So theta will be, you have to use tan because this is our adjacent side and this is the opposite side. So you have to use tan. Tan of alpha is given by 335 over 500. So theta will be tan inverse of 335 over 500. So 335 over 500, that will be, so we have to do tan inverse of that. That will be 33.8 degrees. So now we have this angle here, which is 38.3. So what is this angle? It will be 65 minus this. So required angle will be 65 minus 33.8. That will be 31.2. So the angle bearing of S from P will be 31.2 to one decimal place. Okay, and this is question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. The distribution of the time spent by 200 customers at the restaurant in one evening is shown in the table, as you can see here. So here we have the frequencies and here we have the groups. So the diagram shows part of the histogram that represents this data. So question number 1 is to complete the histogram. So let's see what's missing. So we have until 100. So only the last group is missing. So how do you find frequency density? The formula is frequency density is frequency divided by class width. So let's find the class width first. What are the class width of each class? So class width, here we have 60 minus 30, 20, that will be 10, that will be 10, and that will be 20. So frequency divided by 20, so 28 divided by 20, that will be 1.4. So let's draw a line, 1.4 for 100 to 120. 1.4 will be about right here. Okay, this will be your histogram. Now, part 2, find the values of P and Q. So P and Q will be the frequencies for these two groups. So for this first group, what is the value for frequency density? So 60 to 80, 60 to 80, so 60 to 80, the value here is 2.4. So let's use that. So FD will be 2.4. So how do you find FD? FD equal to 2.4 equal to the frequency divided by class width. So P will be this times this, that will be 48. P will be 48. Double check. 2.4 times 20 will be 48, right? Now for the value of Q, same way as well. So go to your class, you'll see 80 to 90. So 80 to 90, the value is 4.2. So 4.2. So this is your frequency density, and how do you find that? By using the formula. So 4.2 is equal to frequency, which is Q, divided by class width, which is 10. From this we have Q equal to 42. Now moving on to part 3. Estimate the chance that a customer chosen at random spent more than 95 minutes in this restaurant. So let's go back to our groups. Let's see how many people spend more than 95 minutes at this restaurant. So as you can see, between 90 to 100 we have 58, and between 100 to 120 we have 28. So this is less than, so we don't count these, we only look at these two now. Now since 95 is exactly in between 90 to 100, it is halfway in between, we take half of this value. That will become 58 divided by 2, so we take 29 from this side. So now the number of people who spent, it is an estimation, more than 95 will be this and plus this. So your answer will be, chances will be 29 plus 28 divided by number of people. Plus 28 divided by 200, that will be 0.285. Okay, and that is part 3. Let's move on to part B. The table below shows the distribution of the ages of these customers. So part 1, state the model class. The model class is the class with the most frequencies. So let's find, we have this one, which is the class will be 40y less than 60. Now next one, calculate and estimate for the mean age of these customers. So how do you find the mean age of these customers? So the formula for mean age will be sum of fx divided by number of customers, which is 200. So f is just the frequency, it is given to us. X will be the midpoint of the groups. So midpoint will be this plus this divided by 2 will be 10, 30, 50, and 70. Fx, we have to multiply them. This becomes 340. So 57 times 30, that will be 17110. 50 times 85, that will be 4250. 70 times 24, 1680. Now let's find the sum of fx. That will be 340 plus 1710 plus 4250 plus 1680. That will be 7980 divided by 200. That will be 39.9. So this will be your answer for the estimation for the mean age of the customers. And that was question, I think, number 7, right? Okay, let's move on to part B now. Answer 4 questions, but we are going to do all the questions, of course, of this paper. Now, question number 8. The scale shows the positions of A and B of two, same as boats, so 2 boats. We have B is due south of A, as you can see. It is exactly below A, and the distance AB is 1500 meters. So part 1, write down the scale of the diagram. So how do we do this? We have to measure the distance AB with your ruler. You will see that according to my drawing, AB is 10. So I will write 10 centimeters is equal to 1500 meters. So 1 centimeter will be 150 meters. So that will be 150 right here. This will be the scale of this diagram. Now for part B, a third boat is positioned at point C, so we don't know where it is for now, which is due east of B. So exactly to the right of B, due east, and 1,800 meters from A. So we have to use the scale to find the value in centimeters. So divide by 150, that will be 12. It will be 12 centimeters from A. So mark the position of the point C. So let's first draw this from the point A. So you go to your point A, it needs to be 12 centimeters from the point A. So you have to use your compass, so measure 12 centimeters. So make sure your pencil is sharp and you measure this distance correctly for this answer. Okay, for me it is approximately right here. So what I will do is I will go to the point A and then I will draw an arc for this distance. So it should be about this point. Now for the value of, now the other condition was it needs to be exactly east of B, so it has to be 90 degrees here. So let's go exactly perpendicular to the point of B. So it will be this way and touching with this line right here. So joining this one to A as well, you will have A, B, and C. C is right here. So where AC is equal to 1800, I think it's 1800 meters, and this one is given by 1500 meters. This is 90 degrees exactly east of B. Now question part C, it says calculate the actual distance BC, give your answer correct to the nearest meter. So the question here it says calculate. So usually what we do is we measure this distance and we use a scale to convert, but now we have to calculate the distance. So the way we do this is, as you observe, we have a triangle ABC, which is a right angle triangle. So you can find BC by the Pythagoras theorem. So one side, we have this value and this value. So as you know already, AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. So that will be 1500 square plus BC square equal to 1800 square. So BC square will be what? That will be 990,123. So BC will be root of, that will be 4.987. So now you have to give your answer correct to the nearest meter. It will be 995 meters. This will be your answer for part C. Okay, so now let's move on to part D. It says a boat travels from C to A. Distance CA was given to us by 1800. So that's the first distance at the speed of x. Speed is x. Now a second boat travels from B to A. Distance BA was given to us by 1500 at an average speed of 1 meters faster than the first boat. So speed will be 1 faster than the first boat. Now it takes the first boat 1 minute longer to reach A than the second boat. Okay, so write down an equation in terms of x and show that it simplifies to this. So we have to use this information here to find this equation. So as you can see, as you know, speed is distance divided by time. So time will be distance divided by speed. So let T1 speed of is the time taken for boat number 1, and T2 is the time taken for boat number 2. So what we have here says the first boat, so time taken by first boat minus time taken by second boat is equal to 1 minute. But now since the speed is given by in seconds, you see the speed is in seconds, we convert 1 to 60 seconds. So right now we have t1 minus t2 equal to 60. So what are the values for t1 and t2? So t1 will be, distance is 1800 divided by speed will be x. Now t2, distance was 1500 divided by speed will be x plus 1. Okay, so replace back, you will have 1800 over x minus 1500 over x plus 1 equal to 60. So one thing we can do is we can divide by 10 everywhere. That will become cancel, cancel, cancel. Then we can divide by, divide by 3. That becomes 2. That becomes 50. And that becomes 60. And we can also divide by 1. You will have 1 here. Now by 2, you will have 1 here. You have 25 here. And you will have 30. So if you simplify, you will have 30 over x minus 25 over x plus 1 equal to 1. So we have to simplify this part. Let's continue on this side. So that will be, we have to find the LCM, so we can cross multiply 30 x plus 1 minus 25 x over this times this. That will be x squared plus x equal to 1. So now we have to cross multiply. That will become 30x plus 30 minus 25x equal to x squared plus 1 plus x. Now simplify. You'll have x squared plus x. So 30 minus 25, that will be 5. You send this over here, will be minus 5x and minus 30 equal to 0. So if you simplify, you will have minus 4x minus 3 equal to 0. This is the same as this, so you write shown as required. Okay, so now part E, we have to solve this equation to find the value of x correct to 2 decimal place. So value of A will be 1, B is minus 4, and C will be minus 4 as well. X will be equal to minus B plus minus B squared minus 4 times A times C. Divide by 2A, that will be 2. If you simplify, 4 plus minus 64 minus 4 times A times C. That will be 80, root of 80, divide by 2. So x will be equal to 4 plus root of 80, divide by 2. That will be 6.47, or it can be 4 minus root of 80, divided by 2. That will be minus 2.47. So let's verify again. So we have, okay, so mistake here. I don't know why I do that, but I made a mistake here. Pretty silly mistake. C is equal to minus 30, not 4 minus 30. Okay, let's replace again. 64 minus 4 times 1 times minus 30. That becomes 184. So 184. Now these two will be wrong, obviously. So let's replace again. 4 plus 184 divided by 2. X will be 8.78. Or x can be 4 minus root of 184 divided by 2 minus 4.78. Okay, so let's double check one more time because I don't trust myself right now. So A will be 1, B will be minus 4, and C was minus 30. So what is B squared minus 4C? So 4 squared. Mistake again. That's surprising. So let's try that again. Okay, I think I'm got confused. So ignore this part. Let's try again. So we just have to use the formula. X is equal to minus B, which is 4, plus minus 4 squared is actually 16, not 64. So 16 minus 4ac minus 4 times 1 times c divided by 2a. 2 times a will be 2. Okay, I think now it should be good. So 16 minus 4 times 1 times minus 30. That will be 136. X will be 4 plus minus root of 136 divided by 2. 4 plus root of 136 divided by 2. So x will be 7.83, or x can be 4 minus divided by 2, that will be minus 3.83. So the values of x will be minus 3.83 or 7.83, correct to 2 decimal place. Now part F, it says, how long did it take the first boat to reach A? So first boat, as you know, T1 was 1800 divided by x. So give you answer in seconds. So T1 will be 1800 divided by this positive value, 7.83. 7.83, that will be 229.8. 229.88. So I think the closest value to this will be 230 seconds for it to reach A. And that is question number 8. Okay, so let's move on to the next question now. So we have question number 9, part A. We have AB, CD is a parallelogram. So AB and BC is a parallelogram. So let's see what's the information that we have. He says AB is given by minus 4, 2. So AB is minus 4, 2. Then we have BC is given by 1, 4. So which means that this is also the same. So DC will also be AB and AD will also be the same value. Okay. Now move on to the question, part 1. Find BD. BD will be B moving to D. So how can you find BD? So BD, it could be BA plus AD. So BD will be BA plus AD. So BA will be inverse of that, so minus 4, 2, plus AD will be the same as this, which is 1, 4. So that will be 4 minus 2 plus 1, 4, that will be 5, 2. So 5, 2 will be your answer for this one. Now for part 2, calculate the modulus of AC, which is the length of AC. So let's first find what is the length of AC. So let's see. AC will be this one, which is in this direction. That will be AB plus BC. So AB plus BC. AB was given by minus 4, 2. BC is 1, 4. That will be minus 3 and 6. So what is the modulus? That will be this value. 3 squared is 9 plus 36. That will be root of 45. That will be your mod of AC. Now question part 3. It says the parallelogram ABCD is mapped onto the parallelogram PBQR. So if you observe, here we have one point in common, which is B and B. Right. Now we have PB is minus 12, 6, and we have BQ is 3, 12. Okay, let's see. So from what I can understand, the point B did not move, which means that, so let's use a different color, which means P will be somewhere around here, and somewhere on this side. So in short, this might be your new points. So this will be the point, for example, this will be your point PB, so PB, and BQ, this will be your point Q. So let's try to connect them to form this parallelogram. This is not an exact diagram. It's just an idea of where they might be. This is your point R. Okay, so why do I know that it is in the same direction? Because if you look at the value of PB, so PB is given by minus 12 and 6. Now look at the value of AB. If you see AB is minus 4, 2, but what we can do also, you can write this as 3 minus 4, 2. This is AB, so 3 times AB, which means it is in the same direction as AB, but 3 times the length. So this will be AP. So same way for BC, we have BQ given to us as 3, 2, which can also be written as 3 outside. You will have 1, 4, which is 3 times BC. So BQ is just in the same direction, but 3 times the value of BC. Okay, that will be the idea for this transformation, right? Now part 1, describe fully the single transformation that maps ABCD onto PBQR. So from what you can see here, and from the factors you can see here, you would say this is clearly an enlargement because the size has changed with scale factor 3. And since the point B did not change, it will be your center of enlargement. So you would say it is an enlargement with scale factor 3 and center of enlargement, center equal to B. That will be part A. Now let's move on to part B. It says S is a midpoint of PQ. Find the value of SR. Okay, so where is PQ? PQ will be this joining with this, PQ. S is the midpoint of PQ somewhere around here. So how we have to find the value for SR. SR will be this distance right here. So how would you find SR? You can find SQ, or you can find so you can find SQ and then QR. Since we know PB is equal to minus 12, 6, so QR will be in the other direction. That will be 12 minus 6. And to find the value of SQ, we have to find the value of PQ first. So how would you find PQ? PQ will be PB plus BQ. So PB plus BQ. That will be minus 12, 6 plus 3, 12. That will be your value for PQ. That is minus 9 over 18. Now we know that S is the midpoint, so SQ, from this you have SQ is half of this. That will be minus 9 over 2 and 9. This will be your value for SQ. Now to find the value for SR, you have to do SQ plus QR. So let's do that. So SR that is one way of doing this, of course. You can always use the transformation factor to just do this, but that is one way of doing this question. This will be SR, so SQ plus QR. SQ is given by minus 4.5, 9, plus QR is given by 12 minus 6. So what is minus 4.5 plus 12? That will be 7.5 and 3. So this will be your answer for part B, 7.5 and 3. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. Part B, we have function f of x equal to this fraction, fine, f of minus 4. So we have to replace the value of x by minus 4. So f of minus 4, 3 times minus 4 plus 2 divided by 5, which is minus 12 plus 2 divided by 5, which is minus 10 divided by 5, which is minus 2. This will be the value. Now part 2, the value of g such that f of g equal to 7. So what is f of g? It will be 3g plus 2 over 5 equal to 7. First step is to cross multiply. You will have 3g plus 2 equal to 35. So 3g will be 33. G will be 11. Now part 3, find f inverse of x. So let y equal to f of x, which is 3x plus 2 divided by 5. Have to cross multiply, that will become 5y, 3x plus 2. Now we have to make x the subject of formula. That will become 3x, 5y minus 2, x will be 5y minus 2 divided by 3. Now since this is in terms of x, you have to change y to x. That will be 5x minus 2 divided by 3. Okay, so that will be your answer for part 3. And this is question number 9. Okay. Let's move on to question number 10. It says a bag contains red and blue pegs. So altogether we have 25 pegs which are n are red. Okay, so 25 pegs, we have n red, and blue will be 25 minus n blue pegs. So Rashid picks 2 pegs without replacement. The tree diagram shows the possible outcomes and their probabilities. So let's see what can we do now. Part 1, complete the tree diagram. So the first peg will be n, so this is fine. How about this one? Okay, this one will be 25 for the blue. For the red here will be n over 24. And if you pick one more blue, that will become 25 minus, so that will change because at first you have 25 minus n. So if you 25 minus n blue minus 1, that will become 24 minus n. So you have to write 24 minus n over 24. This will be for the blue. Okay, now part 2, we have write an expression as a single fraction in terms of n for the chance that Rashid picks a red peg and then a blue peg in that order. So red and blue. So red will be n over 25. N is multiplied by blue will be this one, 25 minus n over 24. So 25 minus n over 24. So if you simplify, that will become 25n minus n squared over, so what is 25 times 24? That will be 600. So 25n minus n squared over 600. Now part B, the chance that Rashid picks a red peg and then a blue peg is, in that order, is 1 over p. Okay, so this is equal to 1 over p. Given that the number of red pegs n satisfy this equation, find the value of p. Okay, so we just have to find the value of p. So first we have to find the value of n. So for this one, let's find the value of n first. So we have n squared minus 25n plus 150 equal to 0. So now we have bracket, we have to factorize. That will become n times n. 150 is 15 times 10. To get minus 25, I have to minus. So n can be 15, or n can be 10. We have two values for n. Now let's see. We have to solve this one. So from this one we know that 25, so from this equation, so we have 25n minus n squared over 600 is equal to 1 over p. Now you can try to simplify this to find the value of p. So let's see what are the possible values of p in that case. If you can make p the subject of formula, that will become, p will become, so you have to flip this upside down, it becomes 600 over 25n minus n squared. So let's replace each value and see which one can be the correct answer, right? So now for n equal to, let's take this one first. For n equal to 15, p will be equal to 600 divided by 25 times 15 minus 15 squared. That will be 4. Now for the next one, if n equal to 10, the value of p will be what? That will be 600 divided by 250 minus 100, so 100. That will be 4 as well. So value of p will be 4 for the two values. So p is 4, same values. Okay, so that will be part B. Let's move on to part 3 of this question. It says solve this to find the values of n. So we did that already. N is equal to 15 or 10. Okay, and see what else do we have. Now for part 4, it says given that at the start there are more blue pegs than red pegs in the bag. So if there's more red pegs, there's more blue pegs than red pegs. So at first we know that we have 25 in total. There was n red pegs and 25 minus n blue pegs. So if there was more blue pegs, we have to choose which value. So we have to choose 10 as your value for n, because that will be 10 red and 15 blue. That's why we have to choose 10, so that we have more blue than red. Okay. Find the chance that Rashid picks 2 red pegs. So let's do that. 2 red pegs will be this, red and red. So red and red is n over 25, so 10 over 25 times n minus 1 over 24. That will be, let's find out, 9 over 24. That will be 3 over 20. Now for part B, it says each member of the group of children was asked their favorite color. Okay. The pie chart represents the results, as you can see. Now part 1, the number of children whose favorite color is red is 75. So 75 is red. 90 degrees is 75. Find the number of children in this group. So pretty easy. 90 degrees is 75 children. In the group we have a total of 360 degrees. That will be 75 divided by 90 times 360. That will be 300 children. Now for part 2, find in simplest form the fraction of the children whose favorite color is green. So green will be 30%. That's 30 degrees, sorry. That will be 75 divided by 90 times 30 degrees. Times 30, that will be 25. So find the fraction. Okay, fraction, right? It's not. So the number of children will be 25, but the fraction is 30 degrees over 360 degrees. That will be 1 over 12. 1 over 12. So or you can do 25 divided by 300. Should give you the same amount, 1 over 12. Now part 3, how many more children answered yellow than blue? So let's find the difference in degrees. Yellow was 108, blue was 78, so 108 minus 78 will be 30 degrees. So 30 degrees will be the difference, which will give you 75 over 90 times 30 will be 25. So 25 more children gave answer as yellow than blue. Okay, so that will be question number 10, right? Okay, now let's move on to question number 11. So in this paper we have 12 questions. Okay, almost done. Now the table shows some values of x and the corresponding values for y. We have y as this, x is this. Now complete the table, find this value for y for this value of x. So 2 times 1 minus 1.5 power 3 minus 3 1.5 square plus 5. That will be minus 8.5. That is part 1 done. Now question part 2. Using a scale of 4 centimeters to represent 1 unit on the horizontal axis from minus 1.5 to 2. Okay, let's do that. And then for the vertical one, we have to draw 2 centimeters for 5, but from minus 10 to 10. Draw this graph. Okay, let's see how are we going to draw this. So first horizontal will be from minus 1.5 to 2. So if 4 units, 4 centimeters is 1 unit. So what is 1.5? That will be 6 squares. So 6 squares will be a value for 1.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So on this line. So we can draw the vertical axis right here. So that will be our vertical axis. This will be the value for y. And we have to draw from minus 10 to 10. So let's start here. This is minus 10. We have to use 2 centimeters for 5 units, so minus 10. That will be minus 5 and 0. So same thing, 2 centimeters for 5 units. Okay, and how about these ones? So how about for the horizontal one? It says we have to use 4 centimeters for 1, so 4 square for 1. Let's see where can we start. So let's see if we can start here. So that will be minus 5 and minus 10, 5 and 10. That should be enough. 2 centimeters for 5. So that should be 2 centimeters for 5, 10. Okay, so let's start here. So scaling is very important to make your graph take the space of this grid. So it is important that you know where you're drawing your curve. That's why we have to measure and everything. X will be 4 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be 1, and 1, 2, 3, 4 will be 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be minus 1, and this will be minus 1.5. This is 0 here. This will be minus 0.5, and this is 0.5. This will be 1.5. And here, as you can see, 2 centimeters represent 5. So it means that 1, 2, that will be minus 5 and minus 10. This will be 5 and 10. Okay, so next step, let's plot the points. So the first point we have is minus 1.5 minus 8.5. So this point will be 8.5 will be okay, let's count minus 8.5. That will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5 will be right here. First point. Then we have minus 1, 0. That will be this one. Then we have minus 0.5 will be 4. That will be right here. Then we have 0.5 will be this one, 0, 0.5, 4.5, that will be 4 is this one. Then we have 1, 4, that will be this one. Then we have 1.55, 2 will be 9, 9 will be just below 10. Okay, now let's try to join the curve as smoothly as possible. Okay, this will be the minimum point. So let's use a different color. I will use red. Max point. Okay, so join to this and this. Okay, so this will be your curve for y. Now question part 3. Use your graph to estimate the gradient at the point x equal to 1.5. So 1.5 will be right here. So we have to draw a tangent to the point to find the gradient. Will be about, I would say about this point. Right. So I will take a point here, which will be 2, and then 10 will be 7. And 1 point I will take here, which is 0.5 and 0.5. So let's find the gradient. So as you know, the formula is y2 minus y1, 7 minus 0.5 divided by 2 minus 0.5. That will be 4.333. So it depends on how well did you draw this line. Usually it should be about this value, but it depends on how did you draw your tangent. So part 4 is, by drawing a suitable line on your graph, find the solution to the equation of this. So let's see what can we draw, because the equation of the line is given by y equal to 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 5. So the only difference here, as you can see, is this one is 4 and this one is 5. So what if we minus 1 on both sides? You'll have y minus 1 equal to 2x, this 3x squared plus 4. This is the same as this, so we have to draw this line. Y equal to 1. So let's draw this line and see what value do we have. So y equal to 1 will be our horizontal line on this one, and let's see where is 1. 1 will be about right here. So by doing this line, label this line as y equal to 1, it will cut the curve at this point, which is your corresponding value. So what is this value of x? So we know that 4 centimeters, which is 20 square, is 1 unit. So what is 2 square? So 1 unit is 20 square times 2 squares. That will be 0.1. So that will be this will be minus 0.9. 0.9 for the value of x. Now let's see what else can we have. What question? Question part B. Right. Now it says the graph shows a sketch of the curve y equal to p over x. That's a sketch of this curve. Now the 2 points on the curve are this and this. And now part 1, find the value of p and the value of q. So let's see how can we find the value of p and q. So the first step is to use this and use this point to find the value of p. So we know that this is x and y. So p is equal to y times x. So y will be 0.4 times 3. That will be 1.2. So p will be 1.2. And your curve will have equation of y equal to 1.2 divided by x. Now what is the value of q? So using this point, this is x and y. Y will be 2.4 and q will be here. So from this you will have q is equal to 1.2 divided by 2.4, which is 0.5. Let's double check. 1.2 divided by 2.4, 0.5 for the value of q. Now let's move on to part 2. Calculate the gradient of the straight line joining the points this and this. So m is y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. The point is 3, 0, and cube will be 0.5, 2.4. That will be y2 is 2.4 minus 0.4 divided by 0.5 minus 3. So 2.4 minus 0.4, that will be 2, divided by 0.5 minus 3, that will be minus 0.8. So your gradient will be minus 0.8. And this is question number 11. Okay, so let's move on to question number 12. Part A. We have a cylindrical tank of height 446 centimeters and radius r centimeters, and the capacity is 70 liters. Find the radius correct to the nearest centimeters. So the next step is to convert liters into these values. So what do you know about the units? So we have to write the conversion. As you guys must know, 1 liters is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. Now 70 liters will be 70,000 centimeter cube. So we have to use this to find the radius correct to the nearest centimeter. Now this volume of the how do you find the volume of a cylinder? So volume will be pi r square h. So pi is pi, r square we don't know, h is given by 46 equal to 70,000. R square will be 70,000 divided by 46 divided by pi. That will be 484.38. The value of r will be 22.0. So 22.0. So this will be the radius of the cylinder. So let's double check because sometimes I can make mistakes. So 70,000 divided by 46 pi. And then square root, that will be 22 centimeters for the radius correct to the nearest centimeter. Now part B, we have a triangular prism, has a length of 20, and the sides of the shaded cross section, so this is the cross section, are 4, 11, and x. Now the angle is 125 right here. So part 1 is calculate the area of the cross section. So pretty easy, use your sine rule. So half sine angle of 125 times the two sides will be 4 times 11. That will be half sine of 125 times 4 times 11. That will be 18.0. So area of cross section will be 18.0. That is part B. Now move on to part 2. It says find the volume of the prism. So pretty easy, and that will be volume will be area of cross section times length, which is 20. That will be 360 centimeters cube. Now part 3, calculate the value of x. So value of x here, as you can see, that will be this length. You have to use your cosine rule. So cosine of the angle 125 is equal to 4 square plus 11 square minus x square divide 2 times 4 times 11. Now you have to cross multiply, so turn this over here. You will have 88 cos of 125. That is 4 square plus 11 square minus x square. Now you have to make x square become the subject of formula. That becomes 4 square plus 11 square minus 88 cos of 125. So let's do that. 4 square plus 11 square minus 88 cos of 125. That will become 187.4747. That is x square. So the value of x will be square root of that. That will be 13.69. So correct to 3SF, that will be 13.7 centimeters for the value of x. Now let's try the rest. So we have part 4, calculate the surface area of the prism. So let's first count how many surface does it have. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 surface. So 2 of this will be 2 times 18. And then we have the bottom surface will be what? So this one will be 20 times 11. And the one on the back will be 20 times 4. And the one on top will be 20 times x. Okay, let's solve and find the value. So that will be 36 plus 20 times 11 plus 20 times 4 plus 20 times 13.7. That will be 610. So the surface area of the prism will be 610. And this is question, I think this is the last question. Yes, so this is the question number 12. Well, that was the last question. I hope that was somewhat helpful. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.